Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. I know it's been a while since we did some solo episodes, so the next few are going to be episodes just with me going over certain topics about self improvement, about mindset, and just things that could help better your journey in life, whatever that may look like when it comes towards reaching your goals. And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about the comfort crisis and why easy living is killing your ambition. You guys know how I like to do this, and that's jumping straight into it. So let's get started. Comfort is addictive, and it is designed that way. Modern life is engineered for ease. Food delivery, endless scrolling, instant dopamine, all these things that are at service to you, these things that are readily available for you are meant to keep you comfortable. And we could look at comfort as a good thing sometimes, especially when life can be difficult and hard. But when it becomes a problem is when you're addictive to that comforting feeling and you never do things that are challenging anymore and you never do things that better you. And I think the biggest thing that holds us back from true self improvement is caring too much about feeling comfortable, caring too much about feeling good. The second you start focusing on that more than challenging yourself, that is exactly when your growth stops. Comfort isn't neutral. It rewires your brain to avoid effort. And I think that is the biggest thing. A book I'm currently reading is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And I'm only 20 pages in, but I know this is going to be one of my favorite self-help books because of the topic. And that is when you look at your subconscious mind, it actually is habitual. And the second you start to value comfort over discipline and over difficult things, you start telling yourself that that is what you're after and that is what you want. And the second you start replaying that habitual mindset of comfort, that is exactly when you begin to struggle. That is when discipline becomes too difficult and you're no longer able to seek out things that are challenging. And the second you do that, my friend, the second that you start choosing comfort on a daily basis over getting out of your comfort zone, that is exactly when you start to regress, right? The more you choose easy, the harder hard becomes. And that kind of highlights what I've just been saying is that you need to recognize this, that if you always choose the easier option, that is exactly when you'll begin to fail. Because when you finally want to do the hard thing, that thing will be feeling like a mountain to climb in order to do something challenging. And the best example I could give you guys for this is waking up early. And I can relate to this myself, is that I was able to wake up early all the time, no matter how many hours of sleep, no matter what was going on in my life. I was able to get up early and get the things done I know I needed to get done. But the second I started sleeping in a bit too much, the second I started snoozing my alarm way too often, my ability to get up in the morning became so much more difficult because my subconscious mind was wired to always seek that easy path. And I think it's super important that we don't allow ourselves to get caught in that spiral, because once you do, your ability to reverse it is much harder. Easy living lowers your standards. When everything is convenient, you stop demanding more of yourself. And this is the thing. The second you start to focus on the easy things more, like I was saying earlier, the less you start demanding of yourself, because there's a version of you that can do great things. There's a version of you that doesn't jeopardize their growth for comfort. But the second you start choosing the convenient path over and over and over again, you will stop demanding greatness. You'll stop demanding who you're meant to be and who you're meant to become. And I'm not choosing comfort. This is actually zero sugar. It's not full sugar. But you know what I mean. I think it's super important that we always demand the best from ourselves, that we demand to be the best kind of friend we could be, the best partner we could be, the best brother, the best sister, whatever that looks like. When you demand the most of yourself, that is when you are truly becoming who you're meant to be. And the second you start picking that convenient path over and over and over again, that version of you starts to get watered down, and it's almost impossible to work back up to it because it feels like such a tall mountain to climb. You tolerate average results because nothing feels urgent. And that's exactly it, is we put the best version of ourselves on the back burner. That's why we don't chase it, because we tolerate the average version of ourselves because we've been average for so long. But you don't have to be that way. You don't have to be average. You could be something more than who you are right now if you choose to be, if you do the daily actions in order to reach that version of yourself. So don't think that you being average has to stay that way forever, because there is way more for you that is waiting for you on the other side of your comfort. And convenience kills that hunger in you. It kills that passion, that fire to go after the things you want in life because you're so used to settling for much less. Discomfort, you guys have to remember, builds identity. Cold mornings, hard workouts, keeping promises when you don't feel like it. These are all examples of building a new identity, a disciplined identity, an identity that means more to you, that feels more fulfilling. The second you start to choose the thing that's not comfortable because you know it will lead to growth, that is exactly when that growth happens. Because if you are constantly choosing the easier path, you are never going to make more of yourself. You are never going to become the version of yourself that you were seeking, because the easy thing is never the best thing for you. There is a reason why building a physique is hard, is because not everyone is going to do it. Not everyone's going to take the time out of their day to go to the gym and strengthen themselves and build a physique worth having that is respected, right? And that's the difference between so many of us, is that some people are going to do it and some people aren't. Who do you want to be on that spectrum? You need to ask yourself that. Comfort creates fragility. The more insulated someone is, the less resilient they become. When you surround yourself with easy things and you always choose the easy way out, you are insulating yourself. And what ends up happening is anytime something difficult appears in your life that you must deal with, it's no longer something that you have to, or that you, or sorry, something that you may want to, not that you have to. When those things come in your life that have to be faced and have to be figured out, you are way less equipped to overcome that challenge because you've allowed yourself to choose comfort over uncomfortability so many times. So this is a process that could ruin you. It's a process that cannot allow you to grow because you constantly seek the easy path and the easy way out. Minor inconveniences feel like major problems, and that's where comfort creates fragility, because any single thing that throws you off your path, or any single thing that bothers you or makes you mad or makes you frustrated, will seem like this huge thing. And this is why I always speak about going to the gym in the morning, because I've noticed, just recognizing myself, and this is anecdotal evidence in my day-to-day life, is that when I go to the gym in the morning, no matter what problem I'm dealt with throughout the rest of the day, it feels much easier to deal with. It feels easier to manage because I did something difficult to start my day. And that's why it's super important to choose difficult things, because then when the slightest inconvenience happens, you are able to overcome it. A comfortable life produces emotionally reactive people. And that's the thing. You could tell when you are calm. You could tell when you are, you know, in a good headspace. And this is why stoicism is such a big thing, is because stoicism teaches you to do difficult things and to have a good attitude towards them and not let them dictate your moods and how you feel. You just go through it. And when you are someone that doesn't put themselves in uncomfortable situations, you are so reactive when that bad thing happens in your life. You don't know how to cope with it. You don't know how to deal with it because your mind is so fragile. So you must chase things that are difficult. You must chase the challenges in your life that maybe beforehand you always felt like you wanted to avoid them, because on the other side of those things is your best self. And if that's what you're truly chasing, every single time you are dealt with a circumstance that may be difficult, you will go right after it because you know at the end of it, it would have built your character. And for my last point, you must choose your hard discipline or hard regret, hard training or hard insecurity. Once you choose that discipline is difficult. Waking up early, doing everything you need to do, showing up for the people that care about you and the people you love, showing up for yourself, that is difficult. On a day to day basis, you get tired, you get exhausted. All these things feel more challenging because you have been so tired and so exhausted. But that is difficult. But being who you're not meant to be and being a watered down version of yourself is also difficult. So you need to decide what kind of difficulty you want. Do you want the difficult that leads to freedom through discipline? Or do you want the difficult that makes you feel trapped because you always chose the easy way out every single day? You have to decide, my friend, if comfort is something that you want to allow to dictate your life. Because if you do, you will never be the person you are meant to be. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into this short episode about comfort. And I hope that you took some value from it. And I hope that you start choosing discipline over comfort in your daily life, because I'm telling you, you'll feel much more fulfilled, you'll feel much more happy, and you'll be a better person to everyone around you when you are more disciplined with your emotions, your reactions, and your daily life. Thank you, everybody, for making it this far. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.